This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News, news-free Dixie for the 21st century. That's what we need. Or, guess who got arrested and court-martialed for refusing to remove himself to the back of the bus? Jackie Robinson, the baseball player.
That's right. And he went to UCLA. He went to UCLA.
Yeah, he did. It's an interesting story. Jackie Robinson was strapped down with his .45 auto when this went on, and he had it out. He's talking about killing somebody.
That's in Texas.
No, that was in Alabama.
It was Alabama? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
More bad boy. Wow. Man. So they don't talk about that part of Jackie Robinson. I think we just get this sanitized version. That's why we can't really move ahead, because we don't know the whole truth.
Well, they don't, like, you want to read a good history of what went on with Jackie Robinson?
Yes, sir.
And the 761st Armored Regiment, the baddest bunch of soldiers in World War II. You know who wrote it?
Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar. You've read it then.
Well, I thought he was a historian of the first class.
Yeah. He always, when we knew him at UCLA, he'd have a big slide rule strapped to his belt because he was in engineering.
Oh, wow. Okay, he was very brilliant.
Yeah. Nice brother. Always was on, he was there when needed.
Wow, man, you just know so much, man. You just live such a fascinating life, man. You just are very rich and full. I mean, like a good glass of wine. I don't know, man. You just, it gives a damn that everybody don't like you, really. I mean,
brother, I could go on for days telling you some history, but we don't have that time. But you asked me, did I have anything else? It just popped up. I'd like to say I met Don Newcomb, the only
pitcher,
baseball player to get everything. We'll give you a little history. Don Newcomb and Roy Campanella and Jackie Robinson got hired by the Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers, at the same time. But they brought Jackie up first, and Newcomb wasn't but 17 years old. Now, I met Newcomb about 4 or 5 years ago, and I said, man, this brother looks young, and he had him a beautiful woman with him. Boy! Oh!
And both those guys dead. He's still around kicking it, huh?
Yeah,
Jackie and Roy dead.
He told an interesting story. Do you remember this series on TV, The Rifleman, with Connor?
What are you talking about? Yes, sir.
Okay. Newcomb said Jackie had a bad temper. Bad temper. And they kept trying to provoke him. So what happened is this pitcher was trying, and Jackie was dodging, but he finally hit him with a pitch. He said the guy that played Rifleman was playing for the Dodgers at the time. He said that guy walked out of the bullpen, walked out to the center field, to the pitcher's mound, and knocked the pitcher out cold.
Wow.
So for the rest of the season, Connors would come out there, Chuck Connors would come out there, and anybody mess with Jackie, he'd knock him out.
That's awesome.
So I said, I guess I didn't feel bad about watching The Rifleman as a kid.
I'm about to check that back out, man. I got to get on Netflix or something, man. I'm about to check that. Hey, going up to Chuck Connors for doing that. Wow.
Yeah. Now, here's the interesting thing. There are 3 brothers in the backfield in UCLA in the 1930s. Kenny Washington, Don Barksdale, and Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson ran track, played football. Don Barksdale played football and ran track. Kenny Washington played football. Now, the interesting part about it is Kenny Washington was the quarterback for UCLA, but all these white teams raised so much hell about him being the quarterback that UCLA changed the name permanently from quarterback to tailback. Don Barksdale was wide receiver, and Jackie Robinson was a halfback, and he, for the time he was in, was holding the NCAA record for the 100-yard dash. So, if you read Kareem's history on the 761st, you'll know that Jackie Robinson never played baseball. So after he survived this court-martial, he said, what am I going to do with myself? And said, why don't you go play in the Negro League since so many have gotten drafted? He said, I've never played baseball a day in my life. Said, but, you know, lieutenant or captain, he said, when you're the base morale officer and every time you get to bat in a softball game, everybody backs up 15 steps. And nobody can run like you can. So that's how he got in playing baseball. Don Barksdale, you know where you know him from?
What?
First brother to play in the NBA.
Oh, wow. That was
you know he played. You know who he played for?
The
Lakers.
I'll go to okay. Oh, wow.
Lakers. That's when they were the Minnesota Lakers. Do you know who Kenny Washington played for? First brother to play in the NFL.
The Rams?
The Rams hired him when they were in Cleveland. And then the Browns, when they took over after the Rams went to L.A., they hired Marion Motley.
So all three of those guys from UCLA. They were from UCLA. Wow.
Yeah. Now, 246 was Marion Motley that Paul Brown hired for the Cleveland Browns. And then the same year, the Rams now in L.A. hired the two first brothers out of Grambling, Deacon Dan Towler, not Deacon Jones, but Deacon Dan Towler, and Tank Younger. Now, I met Deacon Dan Towler. He was a professor at Cal State L.A., and a chick I used to date was his secretary. Man, that brother was huge. He's 6'5", man, a monster. I said, brother, how much did you weigh when you played? He said, well, you know, I played defensive end. I weighed 255, and I'm 6'5", you know. I said, and you were a halfback? Good gracious. He said, brother, you should have seen Tank. Tank was a defensive tackle. He said Tank was 6'4" and weighed 270. I said, and that brother was running fullback. I said, oh, you guys must have punished some folks. He said we did.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow.